Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. It's the 7 cards for 7 days, and we are looking at the week of Monday, August 18 to Sunday, August 24. And I will talk about a little bit about the astrology for the week, and then we'll look at the cards. I'm using the Witch's Tarot today, and then we'll end with an oracle card from the Tree Keeper's Oracle deck. Thank you very much for being here. Welcome back if you've been here before. Welcome if you are new. And please always take things through your own filters. This is a reading for the collective, so things may or may not apply to you. I talked to one of my besties recently, and she had such a great practice with the cards of writing them down, what each card is for each day, and then seeing how those energies play out, or how they might be, useful to know that kind of thing about the energies and use them in the way that's best for you. So I love that idea. Anyway, this week we begin with the moon in Gemini, and that's where we ended last week, so it's straddling that Sunday, Monday, and later in the day it's going to turn to Cancer. But anyway, we begin with the mental moon. It's air sign, it's the twins, it's ruled by Mercury, communication, travel, emails, things like that, short trips on the travel. That's all under the domain of Gemini. And then it will go, as I said, to Cancer. That's home, wanting to be nurtured, to nurture others. It's about children, cooking, maybe even defending home. And then it'll go to Leo, the fire. So Cancer, of course, would be water, and then Leo would be fire. And let's see, we have Mercury direct in Leo now. And the sun is there, but this is the last week for that. It's about to move into Leo. And, that's fire and drama, acting, theater, children, romance, creativity, all come under the Leo moon. And then finally we'll end on next Sunday with the moon in Virgo. Earthy, practical, dedicated, analytical, great for medical exams, things like that. And that will be happening right as the sun is going into Virgo too. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. Otherwise, we have Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, all still retrograde. A conjunction between Saturn and Neptune. That's really powerful stuff. Making us look, I think, at how we do aggression, because it's in Aries, very early degrees of Aries. How we defend ourselves, what that warrior masculine energy is, and then Pluto and Aquarius retrograding. Both of them are going to go back into the previous signs, Capricorn for Pluto, and Pisces for Saturn and Neptune. So we're covering territory we've covered before, absorbing lessons that we might have missed, or just solidifying those. Anyway, otherwise, as I mentioned, the sun will enter Virgo on Friday. And it's that night that we have the new moon in Virgo. Depending on where you are, it could be Saturday, early morning hours as well. And I've already talked about what that moon in Virgo tends to bring. And then on Sunday, this is kind of a wild day. We have a card, I feel like, that in a way responds to that. We have the sun squaring Uranus. So that can be a very disruptive, a very restless, rebellious, headstrong kind of energy, because you've got that Uranus that rules Aquarius, and the unexpected. That's where the wild, the erratic. We might not be able to hear good advice. We're going to be seeking liberation, space, freedom. We just don't want to be overdoing that and not, going into the wild and impulsive, unless we're a really stuck person, and maybe that's exactly what we need. And to remember that with all of this, it could be on the more personal level, or it could be more on the collective level. So you might be having a very calm day and a lot of crazy stuff is going on in the world. We'll talk about that with the cards. So as I mentioned, I'm using the Witch Tarot. And what I noticed right away is that we have a lot of wand energy this week, and to me that fits because we're leaving Leo, the fire, so it sort of feels like it's like the last blaze as that starts to go into the sun, move into an earth sign, Virgo. So our first one for Monday is the Knight of Wands, and this is speaking of headstrong, obviously fiery, strong, moving forward. I don't know what our creature is exactly supposed to be here. It kind of looks like a giant goose, but it works. But you've got the witch sitting here, looking pretty much in charge, I think it's a she, perhaps, knows what's going on with this. So you have a masculine energy with fire and another one with a knight. And so it's practicing. I mean, there's mastery here, but not complete. It's still young and working with that fiery energy. And this could be a person. Doesn't matter, male or female, just that masculine energy that you might encounter on Monday. Tuesday, we get one of the most earthy cards of this week, and that is the Page of Pentacles. Excuse me, not the page. I was looking ahead. We do have a page coming up, but not this one. This is our Three of Pentacles, and three is connected to the Empress. It's harmony, it's beauty, it's abundance. And here, frequently in this card, you'll see three people working together, which you have here. It almost looks like there's a blessing going on. I'm thinking of Hogwarts, Harry Potter. It gives me that kind of a feel. But working with the pentagram in the Pentacles card and blessing that and using it well. This is when it's a blessing because the star is pointing up, and I'll bring it a little closer so you can see that on the three circles, the pentagrams up there. So this can be collaboration, getting something concrete done with a small group of people, feeling good about that, working well together, accomplishing something. When we get to Wednesday, we're back to the wands, as I mentioned. That's the strong suite this week. Fire here, it's the 10. And with this one, because we start at the ace and we work up to the 10 before we go to the royal card, so this is the end of those the digits. And it is often the card of weariness. I've had a lot of burdens. I've carried a lot. There's frequently a heading toward the village. It's almost like the task is over, the energy is spent, and something new needs to happen, some kind of a regeneration with that. And when you take the 10 and in numerology you reduce it to a single digit, you get a 1. So there's a rebirth in that putting down the burden as well. We're sticking with the wands for the next couple of days, and so here is our Thursday, and we are at the 9. Here, of course, you see our witch with her bag and staff, one of the 9 wands, and here we have a nice kind of a chocolate brown cat. And she stops, and in witch lore, cats are often familiars, so that could be the case here, kind of a little spirit power animal exchange going on. But often, you know, big cats are associated, like with the Queen of Wands in particular. So this one has an energy of, how am I using my energy? Let me stop a moment. Let me see where I'm putting it. Do I need to maybe raise a fuss right now? Do I need to be still? What do I wisely do with that energy? And this, all the nines are going to be connected to the Hermit or the Crone, the 9 in the majors. So that pause and internal guidance for a moment there. We stay with the Wands on the next day, and that's with the 8. So this is our Friday. So Friday, that is when the sun enters Virgo. So we've got, and I don't know exactly the time that day that that happens, but it's kind of like, again, that last gasp of fiery energy before we go into that earth energy of Virgo, the more grounded and practical. But this one has like really wanting to get a message out, really wanting to send energy out. It can be a very flirtatious card. It can be a lot of stuff happening in the world. Of course, it's 8. It's connected to August, the 8th month for us. You know, obviously we're coming toward the end of that. But it really feels like there could be some excitement that day. Could even be nervous energy, to put it in a different way. It is connected also by numbers to the Strength card. So, you know, what is the strength in your expression? Do you have something to broadcast? And, you know, try to be detached in a way from how people receive it, but to send the message. All right, and then on Saturday, we have the second of our people cards. Remember, we began the week with the Knight of Wands. Now we've moved into the air energy. So it's really a lot of masculine energy this week. We only have 2 cards that aren't that. So the Page of Swords, frequently a messenger. All the pages are bringing in a new perspective. It's mental energy because it's air and swords. So, you know, the person standing there, 1 foot grounded, 1 foot lifted a bit, this wonderful little bird in shadow on the cape of our witch. Looking like, a little contemplative to me. Maybe ready to take action, but just a little bit paused before that. Perhaps sifting information, perhaps getting ready to dispel the fake, the false. Those are all meanings for this card. And last but not least, our one major for the week is on Sunday, and that is the 24th. And we got the World. So this is the end of the entire tarot, the deck. You've gone through all the minors, you've gone through all the people cards, and here then we have the majors. The last of the majors, number 21, the World, or sometimes it's called the Universe. And so it's a completion of a major cycle. It's kind of interesting to me, again, because this is just 2 days after the sun is switching, moving from Leo to Virgo. And we're going back to school, at least a lot of people are. Some are already back. I teach, I go back next week. So definitely the end of the summer for me. And starting a new cycle. So it could happen, as I mentioned earlier with other cards, in a personal way, like what's the ending of a cycle for you? What have you learned? What have you, can you take stock from? What's the next adventure? Because it goes right back to the 0, the Fool after this. So it could also happen on a more collective level. Again, you know, normal things of like going back to school or a job or whatever, or could be bigger world events. We shall see. And you know, a 21 reduces to a 3 as well, so there can be some really abundant generosity, some generosity in that energy as well. All right, so we will finish with our Tree Keeper's Oracle for this week, and we got 11. Keeper of Surrender, and I'm pretty sure we had this not too long ago, but I'll read it again. During autumn, trees show us how beautiful it is to let go. The cessation of chlorophyll causes the trees to burst into true color as they release their leaves. Surrender isn't defeat. It's the sacred pause that allows us to use all our senses to receive a new vision. You know, and as I go back, it reminds me of this. I do feel like there's that pause there and waiting to understand something. So cease all striving, stop the endless cycles of productivity, abolish your white knuckle resiliency. Lay your spine along the earth's solid ground and feel the support waiting for you there. Align your spine along the length of your favorite tree and feel the solidity of bark, the warmth of sap, and the hum of tree song. There are times when effort only creates futility and extends suffering. This is one of them. Something new wants to communicate with you and is awaiting your presence in this moment. And again, back to the cards, it reminds me of this as well. Ending a cycle, beginning something new, laying down on the earth, maybe doing yoga, leaning against a tree, whatever it is that works for you, and feeling a reset. All right, beloveds, I'm wishing you the best possible week. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know if I can help you. Reach out. There's information on how to do that at the end of the video, and it'll be in the description box below as well. I'll see you again in 7 days.